Hey y'all, it's Julie the Nursing Tutor. I've got some 5 problems of recalculating infusion time in drops per minute. And some of them kind of jankified. And so I want to go through them and show you how to work them so that if they're on your test, you won't vomit. Okay, here we go. So an IV of 500 milliliters was ordered to infuse in 8 hours at a rate of 16 drops per minute. The drop factor is 10 drops per milliliter. After 5 hours, you find 250 milliliters left. So you got to recalculate the flow rate in drops per minute. So it was going, the whole rate was supposed to go over 8 hours. And we found it after 5, so there's 3 hours left, right? So let's just write that right there, 3 hours. And so remember, drop factor is, I'm right over here, total volume times the drop factor divided by the time in minutes. So what is the total volume we got to deal with? There's 250 milliliters left. 250 mLs times the drop factor is 10. And then it's got to go over 3 hours. So 3 times 60, if you don't know, trust your calculator, not your brain. Dookie fart, sorry, 60. If I stop cussing one cuss word at a time. It's going to be 180 minutes. Y'all probably saw what I was doing wrong, but I'm over it. So here we go. I quit cussing one cuss word at a time. I'm on the S word and I say doogie fart. And you're welcome to use that because it works. If you're ever in the hospital and you hear a nurse say doogie fart, I tutored her or him. Okay, so here we go. We're doing all the math. We're going to do all the math on the top divided by the number on the bottom. 250 times 10 equals, don't even look because you're not done. Because some people throw them to the left. Divided by 180. It is 13.8 equals 13.8. You cannot give 0.8 of a drop, so that's going to make that 14 drops per minute. Look. Boom. We saved another one. All right. So okay, that's different. Yeah. IV fluid, 250 milliliters, was to be infused in 3 hours using a 20 drop factor tubing. So with 1.5 hours remaining, you got 200 milliliters left. Recalculate the flow rate. Okay, so what's the time? 1.5 hours. And you know that's going to be 90 minutes. So we'll put that over here just to hang. So what is our total volume that we have? 200 milliliters. We'll start over. 200 milliliters. And the drop factor is 20. A 20 drop factor. And it has to infuse over 90 minutes. And so, boom. Show Ethel you set your problem up and that's your work. And we're going that times that divided by that. So 200 times 20 equals divided by 90 is going to be 44.44. That's not going to do anything to anyone. So it'd be 44 drops per minute. Boom. We saved another one. Right here in front of everybody. Dadgummit. All right. Look at this. So an IV of D5W, 500 milliliters, was ordered to be infused over 10 hours at a rate of 13 drops per minute. The administration set delivers 60 drops per milliliter. That's the drop factor. After 3 hours, you notice that 300 milliliters of IV infusion is left. So recalculate the drops per minute for the remaining amount. It was going in at 10. And when we found it, there was 3 hours left. So that's the amount of time we're having to deal with. And it was 300 milliliters was the total volume times a drop factor of 60. How do you know the difference between these two? This is 13 drops per minute. And what I have to have for this problem is 60 drops per milliliter. That's telling me in the little drip chamber, it takes 60 drops from that little sucker to make 1 milliliter. Okay? And then I'm going to divide it by the time. I got 60 times 3 is 180 minutes. And then we're doing all the math on the top divided by the number on the bottom. So 300 times 60 equals, divided by 180 equals 100 drops per minute. Dig it far. I killed them. Am I going to have to start over? 300 times 60 equals, divided by 3 hours, divided by 180. It should be going, y'all see that, at 100 drops per minute. And so whoever put that killed them. And we're moving on. Okay. An IV of D5W 1,000 milliliters was ordered to be infused over 8 hours at 42 drops per minute. The administration set delivers 15 drops. After 4 hours, you notice only 400 milliliters has infused from that 1,000. Recalculate the drops per minute for the remaining amount. So you're going to have to figure out your amount. It was 1,000, and you noticed that only 400 was infused. So we have to subtract that and get 600 milliliters would be our total volume. Okay? And it was to infuse over 8 hours. And after 4 hours, we found it. So we got 4 more to go. So 60 times 4 is 240 minutes. And the drop factor of the tubing per milliliter is 15 times a 15 drop factor. Help them, God. Don't let me jack them up. He's going to help y'all. So we're going to do all the math on the top and divide it by the number on the bottom. 600 times 15 equals, divided by 240. That is 37.5. You can't give 0.5 of a drop, so that's going to make that 38 drops per minute. Boom. Then we saved another one. You see how you had to read? I want you to read and absorb and process the words that are written on the page so that you understand 400 in what we have left, even though in the last problem, the way they wrote it would have been. So catching that is critical thinking. Okay, here we go. All right. We need big boy and girl panties on. Here we go. An IV of 1,000 milliliters of D5 half normal saline has been ordered to infuse at 125 milliliters an hour. The administration set offers 10 drops per milliliter. The IV was hung at 7 a.m. and at 11 a.m., you check the IV and there's 400 milliliters left. So you have to recalculate the drops per minute of the remaining solution. Okay, with this problem, they never told us the hourly rate. They didn't say it was supposed to hang over 10 hours or 8 hours. All they told us was it was going at 125 milliliters an hour. So to figure out the hourly rate that he ordered it to go over, you would divide 100. Remember we did that? I don't know if y'all saw the video before this, but to find the hour infusion time, you do the total volume over the milliliters per hour. And so we're doing it. This divided by that. 1,000 divided by 125 equals, 1,000 divided by 125 equals. So that was an 8-hour rate that he ordered. Okay? So at 7 a.m., they hung it. And at 11, we found it. So 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. It's done flowed 4 hours. So the time that we have to use to calculate is going to be 4 hours because that's what remaining of the original 8. You picking up what I'm putting down? I believe you are. So the total volume we got to do is 400 milliliters. The drop factor we have is a 10 drops per milliliter. And it's got to go in over 4 hours. So we're going to do it on the calculator. 4 times 60 is 240 minutes. And we're going to do the math. That times that divided by that. Come on, get your calculator. Do it with me. I believe it'll make it closer, really. Okay, 400 times 10 equals, divided by 240 equals, it's 16.6. You can't give 0.6 of a drop. I hope you hear me saying that on your test. And so that'll make it a 17 drops per minute. Boom. We saved them. And if y'all know what I did incorrectly, I'm sure it's something silly or either that was wrong on that other one, just erase it out your mind. And remember all this other stuff. I hope this helps you. Y'all have a good night. Follow me on Facebook. There I am. The links to the YouTube videos, which are the same ones that are on TikTok, are on here, and you can click on it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please, everybody, make a promise, pinky promise. You'll subscribe. That's serious business right there. Okay. All right. I hope this helped. And look, if you want to donate. I appreciate it. If not, I'm still glad you're here. Y'all have a good evening.